Hello everyone. Our project is stock market prediction using machine learning. Our team members are Chitrashri, Gautami, Srilekha and myself Hiranmay. It is done under the guidance of Shivprasad Sir, Assistant Professor, Department of CSC, RYMEC. Introduction of stock market prediction. Stock market prediction is the act of trying to determine the future value of a company's stock or other financial instrument traded on an exchange. The production on stock price and the overall market is one of the essential tasks for investor to establish an optimal investment strategy. Let's understand what stocks are. Stocks are basically an equality investment that represent part ownership in a company. Now, the prediction of the market value is great importance to help you in maximizing the profit of your stock option while keeping the risk low. And this is important because you need to invest your money in a stock which is going to increase in value and not decrease. The objective of stock market prediction are it makes the stockbrokers or common people to utilize predictive system to assist in decision making. A successful prediction of stock's future price could result in fewer risks and significant profit for investors. In our project, we have used the dataset with historical price information for three high growth stocks and Bitcoin from May 2013 to May 2019. It includes the basic analysis of returns and visualizations.
In our project, we have used the techniques as linear regression and algorithm long short-term memory. A linear regression performs the task to predict a dependent variable value y based on a given independent variable of x. So this regression technique finds out a linear relationship between the input variable of x and output variable of y. While training a model, we give X as an input as training data and Y labeled as data of an supervised learning. And long short-term memory, majorly this neural network calculates the time series analysis. In this artificial neural network, the prediction made by the recurrent neural networks are dependent on previous prediction made. All the inputs of a neural network must be the same length. Therefore, we store the longest length of variable of input variable x and predicted output variable of y, which we will be used to define the input to our model.
Now let's discuss the coding part of our project. Initially, we are importing the data by reading the data set for calculating the discrete returns and perform normalization and visualization. Then, assigning the data to a variable named myData. Using this variable, we can work with the data. Here is a visual representation of the data before normalization, but this representation is not helpful as all the assets starts off at different places. For that, we have used the pandas ilog method for integer location based indexing by position, which selects only the first row of the data. So this can be used for the normalization process. This is the visual representation that we get after the normalization process. Basically, we are making the first row of the data for all four columns starts at 100. This way, growth can be comparable for them moving forward. You can normalize the data by dividing the entire data set by first row and then multiply the entire set by 100. Let's go ahead and figure out the daily returns fluctuations. To find out the daily return, we are using the shift method. And here is the output we got. Next, we calculated the average yearly return by finding the total mean and then multiplying it by the number of trading days in a year. Here we have set up the portfolios by multiplying the annual returns with each respective weight and formatting those numbers to look better by using the looks function, which will represent those decimal numbers in the percentage format. Now let's look at some risk. We have calculated the log returns for four assets, namely Amazon, Netflix, Bitcoin, and Domino's individually. And by using this information, we have calculated the daily standard deviation and yearly standard deviation. The formula for log returns is simply ln of P1 divided by P0. So this is the output for Amazon log returns, variance, and standard deviation. These are the individual results we got for the 4 assets. This is the output for the Amazon log returns, variance, and standard deviation. This is the Domino's assets, and then Bitcoin's output. At last, output for the Netflix assets. This is a code for graphical representation for returns and standard deviation annual average. As we can see in the graph, the Bitcoin has higher level. That means Bitcoins involves the higher returns among all the 4 assets.
Next, moving to the covariance and correlation matrices for the assets. In order to measure the relationship between 2 random variables, we need to calculate the covariance matrix. This matrix evaluates how much, to what extent, and these variables change together with the assets. Next, moving to correlation matrices, which measures the strength of the relationship between the assets. Next, moving to calculation of portfolio volatility and variance. Before that, let's see the portfolio risk. The main idea behind investing in a portfolio of stocks is to reduce the risk. In order to calculate that, we need volatility, which is a formal measure of the stock's risks. The higher the volatility of a stock, the greater its ups and downs swings. Here, we are using the NP dot function. This function computes dot products. It is an operation that takes 2 equivalent sequence of numbers and returns a single number. Now, calculating a variance, which measures the difference between the stock returns for different periods and its average return. Finally, let's see the diversible risk and non-diversible risk for these portfolios now. Let's have a definition for diversible risk. It is a firm-specific risk which impacts the price of the individual stock rather than affecting the whole industry or a sector. Non-diversible risk is the one, this is a risk which is common to the entire class of the assets. In order to do this, we are going to take the annual portfolio variance and subtract the individual annual asset variance components. Finally, let's conclude this code by taking the output as, here we can see that this extra 15% of Bitcoin between portfolio 1 and 2 makes a huge difference in the non-diversible risks. All the 4 assets have risk independently. Here, only the Amazon and Netflix have a high positive covariance. Hence, here, Bitcoin is more or less entirely dependent with negligible covariances. Thank you. That's all about our code. Thank you.